Good morning, televiewers, and thanks for joining us in this edition of the news here at the DBS television this 29th day of September 2017. My name is Mahngeh Vernasius Fola. The Human Rights International says some 100,000 Nigerian refugees have been illegally deported from Cameroon. This, according to the Human Rights Watch, is a breach of international law. Philip Sote went through the report and put together the following story for the news.
The report places the blame squarely on the shoulders of the Cameroonian army. They are accused of aggressively screening newly arriving Nigerians at the border, subjecting some to torture and other forms of abuse, and containing them in far-flung and underserviced border villages. The UN Refugee Agency goes further to say that the policy of blocking asylum seekers from accessing protection has made it easier for Cameroon to deport them. According to the report, expulsions since 2015 were one of the largest illegal forced repatriations it has seen in recent years and were in flagrant breach of global and Cameroonian law. Boko Haram militants have killed tens of thousands in their fight to carve out an Islamist state in northeastern Nigeria. The violence has forced hundreds of thousands to flee, many across the border into Cameroon, Chad, and Niger. Cameroon signed a treaty in March with Nigeria and the United Nations High Commission for Refugees to ensure that all refugees returned are voluntary, but the rights group Human Rights Watch says Cameroon's violations has continued. Nigeria, for its part, is currently struggling to cope with millions of people dependent on emergency relief for food, shelter, and medicine. Cameroon, on the other hand, has not been at ease containing the thousands of refugees who escaped the Boko Haram insurgency, taking refuge especially in Minawao, North Cameroon.
The International Day for Universal Access to Information, instituted by UNESCO, was observed yesterday, with access to information, generally speaking, still an uphill task, especially for men and women of the media in the third world country. Jalo Boba completes that story.
Quality information is primordial in the development of any human society. It is for this reason that media persons in Cameroon joined their counterparts worldwide to commemorate this September 28th as International Day for Universal Access to Information. UNESCO set aside this day so as to give global access to information to all. However, there are still some constraints despite legislations put in place for various reasons, be it for the purpose of preserving the secrets of the enterprise or the state for security reasons, as the case may be. In some situations, it is for health reasons that must remain confidential. There is equally bias that exists in the way state officials handle or view media organs. They give privilege to some few media organs, or the state media is given an absolute advantage to certain information. Taking part in activities marking a day set aside for access to information is a step towards the right direction in reducing the constraints being encountered by journalists in accessing information.
0 cases of rabies by 2030 was the theme that commemorated the 2017 edition of World Day Against Rabies. As returned by the World Health Organization, a vaccination campaign and sensitization was organized recently at the Yaoundé Regional Delegation of Animal Husbandry. Baongo Francis was there and reports.
Dogs are usually referred to be very close friends to man, but this first-class pet, seen as lovely companions, can become dangerous when attainted by the deadly disease called rabies. It was thus under the theme Rabies, 0 case by 2030 that Cameroon celebrated this year's World Day Against Rabies. To observe the day in the country, a vaccination campaign of domestic animals was launched this Thursday in veterinaries of the Ministry of Livestock, Fisheries and Animal Industry. Here at the National Veterinary Laboratory of Vogbetsi in Yaoundé, experts sensitized the public on the fact that rabies kills and invited them to vaccinate all domestic animals so as to protect their families. Focus was placed particularly on children who are more vulnerable to contact the disease due to their constant interactions with the animals.
You know, our children are the more exposed to rabies since they don't play with dogs every day, they don't keeping dogs at home, take care of dogs. And those that belong to families where there are no pets, they usually play around with stray dogs, stoning them, kicking them, whipping them, flocking them. And as a defense mechanism, a dog can bite, a child can get bitten by a dog. So we are advising parents to educate children that they should take good care of dogs, they should administer instead good treatment, they should not maltreat animals, and then we parents, we should know we are responsible for our children. If our animals are not well taken care of, our children are exposed. The target is to be able to wipe out rabies from the whole world between 2030, and that is an assignment. OIE, that is the Animal World Organization, OMS, that is the WHO, World Health Organization. They came together to give themselves that assignment, and they are sensitizing all the national and international opinion that we should all mobilize ourselves to fight against rabies.
Being for more than a year without a dog receiving vaccines is very risky, and some parents are aware of this danger.
Rabies they are very dangerous disease in the community, and when you have dogs and you live with children, anything can happen at any time. It becomes very dangerous if your dog is not vaccinated. So once you vaccinate your dog, you are at least free of certain dangers.
If bitten, rabies can be contracted by all warm-blooded mammals, including man and other animals. Of date, the deadly disease is difficultly cured but can always be prevented. So let's be cautious and always go to the hospital whenever we suffer a pet bite.
The Cameroon National Road Transporters Trade Union is expanding its activities in the northern region. A management team was recently installed to oversee the functioning of the union's bureau in Tuboro subdivision. This was under the leadership of the first National Vice President Alhaji Yunusa Issa Marwa. Williams Amo reports.
The activities of lorry drivers in Tuburu in the north region of Cameroon has been visible for a long time. The number of these road transporters keep increasing since the launch of road transportation from Ngaoundéré to Mundu. Fighting against unconventional practices in the sector, the poor state of roads and the harassment drivers face from men of the underworld are the principal objectives of the Cameroon's National Road Transporters Union. To the SNTRC, it is all about enabling road transporters and other stakeholders to work hand in glove. Some presidents here from different transporter syndicates decided to come together in order to work as one. We have come to install cell members of Tuburu. All the transporters are expected to respect and rally behind the president. With the implementation of a cell in this subdivision, the non-respect of loading and offloading deadline, plus the establishment of false documents for transit will be a thing of the past. You all know that to cross the borders, you meet 4 elements. 1. Customs, which verifies documents. 2. BGFT, which confirms. 3. The gendarmerie, which certifies. And lastly, the police, which guides you to cross the borders. The other administrative units have little or no protocol to follow. And we wish that from this moment, that which the Prime Minister signed be fully respected. We also expect that all those engaged in this sector should put this on. We call it formal agent. And they would facilitate your crossing the borders. Usumanu Belaji and his team are ready to get afield in this zone that breaks the boundaries between 3 countries, Cameroon, Chad, and the Central African Republic. I count on collaborating with administrative and traditional authorities, customs, forces of law and order, and other stakeholders. I would also help the drivers when the need arises. The newly installed team of Tuburu, led by the National Vice President of SNTRC, proceeded to meet administrative and traditional authorities, forces of law and order, not leaving out custom authorities.
Municipal authorities from some councils in the littoral and southwest regions have been drilled in solid waste management in Kongsamba. The two-day seminar was coordinated by the Water Supply and Sanitation Project in semi-urban environment in the Ministry of Water and Energy. We have details in the following report. Council authorities from some areas in the littoral and southwest regions came together in a workshop to acquire skills in the management of solid waste in their municipalities. This capacity building specifically concerns the upgrading of the skills of the technical staff of the municipalities involved in solid waste management operations in Kumba and Kongsamba urban councils alongside Manjo, Mbanga, Lum and Mamfe councils. Coordinated by the Water Supply and Sanitation Project in semi-urban environment, this project has the duty to supply a stock of materials to 19 councils to enable them collect, transport and manage solid waste. These equipment are made up of 33 tractors, 161 garbage dumpsters or tippers and other security equipment. Participants confirmed having been drilled on the question of solid waste management.
The seminar was quite an enriching one, given that we have had this fundamental problem of waste management in councils and in urban councils and semi-urban areas. And I think the coming in of the World Bank and the Ministry of Water, Resources and Energy is a welcome relief to some of us, especially somebody coming from Kumba that I am, where we've had this problem for quite some time.
However, they encountered the problem of language barrier for some.
Even the presentation and everything from what the director said here, look at my colleagues here, nobody has opened it. They have not registered anything. What are they going back with? So my appeal is that if we can have a translator, everything here is in the French, let's have the presentation now in English. At least we are in a bilingual country.
These participants received the assurance of the Minister of Water and Energy to follow up the project up to its realization. A call was made to the councils to be given equipment to appropriate and conduct a rational and rigorous management of the equipment. The two-day workshop from the 25th to the 26th September took place at the Kongsamba Urban Council to support the municipalities for a better management of their heritage. The new Divisional Officer for Belabo in the East Region has the task of ensuring law and order within his municipality and the illegal control of forest exploitation. The assignment was given to him by the Senior Divisional Officer during the installation ceremony, in which the locals expressed some of the worries they go through in the subdivision. Mituke Falan has details.
Mr. Rebecca has taken over as the new divisional officer for Belabo from Mr. Mebenga Yaya, a locality in the East region. This was in an installation ceremony that brought together locals, traditional rulers and administrators of the subdivision, chaired by the senior divisional officer SDO for Lom and Jerem, Yves Bertrand Awumfa Kalinu, with an estimated population of about 30,000 people. The new chieftain has the task of ensuring law and order, being that the East region is noted for high banditry and other ills. Those equally exploiting the reserve forest must equally be brought to book. Belabo is a land flowing with milk and honey. Unfortunately, the locals do not tap from their natural resources. Poor road network, no electricity are some of the worries the people think the new deal will have to redress.
We are so happy to receive our SGO who is coming to be with us. We have so many problems in Belabo. There is no energy. We have so many problems. We wish that authorities can do so many things to bring us to be up in Belabo.
Before his transfer to this subdivision, this product of the 2001 batch of ENAM has served in different capacities in various areas, the last being the due for Bana in the Upper Cam West region. Hope he will follow the footsteps of his predecessors, whom many have appreciated.
From the East, we have come to the end of this edition of the news here at the DBS television. Keep watching programs with our presenters. We will be back again by Monday for what would have made news. But before then, God bless your day.